Hello, beloveds. I state that I am in the infinite light, and the infinite light is within me. I am surrounded by the pure white light of the Christ. Only good can come to me, and only good shall come from me, and I give thanks. So the opening says today, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me shall direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing that He goes there with me. He is with me all the time. And I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. So welcome to Fellowship of Spirit. Let's do our statement of faith. Love produces a feeling of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another in our sanctuary, in our homes, wherever we're at. We are one with one another. And we create an atmosphere of holiness. And so it is. So the spiritual mind treatment for today states, I am the only person in my mind. God is the impersonal creative power of all of life, forever ready to become through me the kind of person that the use of my mind will allow me to be. There is no plan for my life outside of whatever plan I make. I am the only one who has power over the direction of my creative thoughts. If I fail to make a plan for my life, then it will occur unplanned and entirely in reaction to the world around me. I do not espouse the notion that I am to wander through life looking for a sign or waiting for a direction from above. There is nothing above me that is not within me, and that, all in all, is consciousness. And that's what guides my life. And my consciousness is awaiting my direction, should I be wise enough to give it. I am the only person in my mind, and I am grateful for that. And the talk will be more about that as well today. The spiritual reading, let's just share a few statements, affirmations of power. I am the son and daughter of God, and the Spirit of the Most High dwells within me. I am the only begotten son and daughter dwelling in the bosom of the Father. I am the Christ of God, and through Christ I have dominion over my every thought and every word and action. I am the beloved son and daughter in whom the Father is well pleased. And all that the Father has is mine, as Jesus said so often. He that has seen me has seen the Father, because we are one. I and my Father as one are one. And my biggest ideal is a perfect person connected with Source. So let's go to the talk today. Let me start with a story called Eagles in a Storm. Did you know that an eagle knows when a storm is approaching long before it breaks? The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the winds to come up. And when the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. While the storm rages below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle does not escape the storm, he just uses the storm to lift it higher. It rides on the winds that bring the storm. When the storms of life come upon us, and all of us will experience them, we can rise above them by setting our minds and our belief towards God. And this is an important time in history to do that right now. The storms do not have to overcome us. We can allow God's power to lift us above them. God enables us to ride the winds of the storm that brings sickness, tragedy, failure, and disappointment in our lives. We can soar above the storm, beloveds. Remember, it is not the burdens of life that weigh us down, it's how we handle them. End of story. So our worst enemy is when we undermine who we really are and what we can accomplish in this world. When we say such negative things as "I can't do that," "I am poor," "I am," whatever the "I am" statements we're using afterwards. If you do not have a strong belief in who you really are, and knowing what your ability and capability and capacity and potential is, then you become stuck in your lives. At those times we should believe that God created us into this world of being nurtured with unique qualities that is inherent within our soul, our oneness with God. That's what we've got to pay attention to. And then we can nurture our other unique qualities by connecting deeply to the virtues and the attributes of God. Also, we need to know that God has created us with such a brain power that makes the sky limited. With such a belief system and mentality, there will be no limit to what we can accomplish and achieve in this world. And there are opportunities for us right now. We have a power beyond our imagination, beloveds, and therefore we should not settle for less. The only thing that limits us is ourselves, our mentality, our thoughts, our belief system. You know, there's times I get so inspired by witnessing in the news media and other sources like television what is accomplished by others scientifically and technologically. All the time something is going on. And what people in general have done and are doing every day by using their brain power, their talents, their passion, their dreams. Performing all sorts of acts and competitions in singing and music and art, which is inspiring and admiring. Especially the young children who are here and the talents they have brought with them and are expressing at this time. And we need to know they're not the only ones. Each and every one of you have your own talents that you can express in this. We should use them as a motivation for us and to get inspiration from them and follow their examples and use them as our role model and inspiration, knowing that God is expressing itself through them as well. We should not just be a spectator, but a participant and a follower or a leader. We all have our own stories. In every real-life story there's conflict, struggle, breakdown, failure, to name a few. And if you haven't experienced some or all of the above, you haven't lived. I believe that each one of us has just one story. And what is that? It's the story of how we got here at this moment in time to become who we are today. Everything that we've gone through that made us who we are today. We've lived a lifetime of moments to get to this moment. And we all have pivotal moments that change the course of our story. Together, we are setting such a moment right now with what's going on with the coronavirus. Sometimes, in looking back, do we realize that, oh, there was a fork in the road, and we took it. We seem to be at the mercy of events unfolding around us, but we have the power to choose which way we will go. Every story leads us somewhere. And with the insanity all around, it's time to take the road that will lead us out. Now, some of you at the church have asked at times for steps to take the information into your life, or how to market yourself, or how to talk to people about fellowship. Let me share 3 of them with you today about moving forward. Step 1 after Wesak is make a commitment. I mentioned the Wesak ceremony before that we had 2 weeks ago, where the full moon is up and the sun is in Taurus, and it marks the beginning of a new spiritual year. So it's a perfect time of the year to give our life new direction, to start over again, to start something new, or to renew something that you'd already had going on. So how do we get started? Step number one, beloveds, is making a commitment to yourself, to your own spiritual awakening. So what does that mean, a commitment? The word commitment comes from the Latin committere and means to unite. C-O-M, the first three letters, means with or together. And the last part, mittere, means to release or to let go. So we come together, unite together, and let go in a commitment. And when we commit ourselves to the highest ideal or spiritual goal, we unite with that highest ideal and goal. And by uniting with ever higher and higher ideals, that we actually climb the ladder of evolution. It's, as we've said before, going to a school and graduating from one grade into another one. We have an evolutionary goal, beloveds, and it is to sublimate our lower self, our ego. And we do that by committing ourselves to the dictates of the highest self, which is God within us. Commitment saves energy and time and unnecessary struggle. Commitment focuses our forces because it allows us to focus our thoughts, our emotional fields, and the ones that we yield in the form of physical action, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions. Without commitment to a higher ideal and goal, we end up scattering our forces and losing our path. And when we do that, we weaken ourselves. But when we focus our forces, we strengthen ourselves. When we focus our forces on a higher ideal, we literally invoke higher forces to support us. Remember, beloveds, we live in a sea of energies and forces, and we attract into our aura our immediate personal force atmosphere. Energies that vibrationally resonate with our inner thought and our emotional activities. And as I said earlier, we see what we believe, and it fits in with the law of attraction. As such, when we are committed to a higher idea and spiritual goal, our striving towards that highest ideal magnetically attracts the highest atoms and forces necessary for us to realize our commitment. Remember, I said the word commitment means to unite. What we are committed to, we eventually unite with, and we become one with it to make it possible to create. The purpose of life is conscious union and identification with our spiritual divine self. That's all. The purpose of our life is conscious union and identification with our divine self. Let's start that. Every moment, practice that and connect to it. Don't postpone the inevitable, beloveds. Make a commitment to your spiritual awakening right now, here and now. It is the solution to all your problems. Step 2 is to make a plan. You have made a commitment that you just said, hopefully, when I talked about it, to your spiritual awakening. Now it's time to make a plan. And we lovingly call the Creator's plan the divine plan. When you hear me saying that, know what I'm talking about. Now, since we are made in the likeness of our Creator, it is a wise idea to let our Creator and to do as our Creator does. To listen to the will of God. To do as nature does. So I ask you, take a moment and look at your body. Your body is built according to a plan. Every part of it works well. The human body contains all the instructions necessary to express the full range of cell types. It contains instructions to carry out a plan. And a plan is a thought form. It is an actual construction in subtle manner, which is astral and mental. And in that construction, it acts as a magnet that magnetically attracts the forces necessary for its manifestation in physical matter. So not only do you make a plan, but you have the goals and the energy there to make it happen. So maybe we could start making it a habit to make plans for every aspect of our life. That's what I challenge you with. When we formulate a plan, we can be coherent in our endeavor. With a plan in place, we can focus and we can concentrate all of our energies on a goal. But however, without a plan, we just end up piddling away our energies all over the place, and we end up getting nowhere in life. Therefore, before you start any endeavor, make a plan. And also, as I said before, do visioning, say a prayer that connects to the plan. Open up to God. So plan your finances, plan your health. You can do that. And most importantly, plan your spiritual growth and evolution. For millions of years, the forces of evolution have literally forced us to grow by pushing us to open our hearts and to expand our consciousness, without us having the faintest idea in our brain of awareness of where we were going or what was pushing us on. But the energies of the universe of God were there helping us all the time. And it is happening to us right now. We have this time to be at home and just to be and relax and rest and connect to who we want to be and what we want to do. However, with the dawning of the new world, and that's what this is all about, it starts to dawn upon us that we can consciously cooperate with the forces of evolution, with God, with nature. First, by understanding where the journey of evolution is taking us, and secondly, by originating the initiatives that help us realize our goal. Soul-inspired initiative, something that comes from our soul, is the key, because it's the heaven within. It's the oneness with God, and it unlocks the door to the expansion of our consciousness. Now, any lack of soul-inspired initiative keeps us stuck in the wheel of rebirth. So soul-inspired initiative is the way out of the wheel, which is a plan to go somewhere. So you need to listen to what your soul is saying. What does it want for you? Plan your spiritual growth in life with all parts of it. Be systematic about it. Work on your mind. What do you need to change? On your emotional nature, what do you need to feel and release? On your physical life, what needs to change? On your speech, your posture, your family life, your prosperity and abundance, your relationships, your everything. Everything you can look at and make a plan for it. And bring them in alignment with your soul's plan for your life. Yes, the soul has a plan, the expression of God within you, and we want to bring it together to be a master in your life. We live in a world of energies and forces. When we think, feel, speak, act, and talk, all of those things are moving around the energy forces. And if we are to master life, we need to learn to consciously yield these forces in service of a loving purpose and a plan. Again, remember, a plan is a thought form, and the key is to hold that thought form. Like, for instance, when you want to ask for something, maybe it's a garden that you're taking care of and you have a thought form. You want to revisit it regularly to make it happen. Because when you revisit it, you keep it alive. You don't let go of it. And by looking forward to its manifestation, we give it driving force. So know, beloveds, that everything that you would like to accomplish in your life, give time thinking about it. Make a plan around it. This is why the intensity of higher design and emotion is so important in imaging. The word emotion comes from the word motion or movement, which emotion moves the thought form into physical reality. Our emotions and how we feel connect to our thoughts. Without intensity of high vibrational emotion like desire inside, then we have no driving force. And that's one of the reasons many of our plans don't come to fruition. Because we wish idly without having a clear picture of what we actually want, and without filling the picture with the necessary driving force, it's not enough to abstractly wish for a healthy, happier, more abundant life, we need to make concrete plans. This is how our high, lofty, abstract dreams are transformed into concrete realities. A plan is a bridge between the abstract and the concrete plane. So sit down today, beloveds. Make some plans for your spiritual growth and evolution. It's one of the wisest things you could ever do. Why? Because our spiritual growth is the only thing we will be able to take with us into eternity. You hear that? Nothing else but how we have grown in our lives, while at the same time enabling us to master, create, and enjoy our life right here and right now. So step 3 then would be to execute the plan. You've made a plan for your goal. One thing left to do, execute the plan. Because a plan in a thought form is a beginning, which means coming into existence. Beginnings may appear small and insignificant, but in reality, beginnings are the most insignificant things in your life. Why? Because a beginning is a cause. To begin something is the movement of energy. And as energy begins to move, our life begins to move. That's why every cause has an effect, and why every beginning leads to an end. The very moment we think a thought, it begins to exist on the mental plane. When we begin to execute our plan, we help it to come into existence on this plane. Now, we all intuitively and theoretically know that every cause has an effect. But we need to realize on a deeper level that indeed the law of cause and effect is working in our lives. One of the biggest problems of humanity is that sometimes we expect to sow something or to reap something without sowing, without planting the seed, making the wish and the plan of what we want. All things visible and invisible are subservient to the law of cause. We can choose what causes we shall set into operation, but we cannot change the nature of the effects, since it goes along with the cause and the thought. We can choose what thoughts to think, what words to say, what actions to take, but we cannot escape the consequences of the energies that we've set in motion. Thus, the secret of life is to make this law work for us instead of against us, because effect can never be divorced from cause. You have made a commitment to your spiritual awakening. You've made a plan, and now it's time to execute the plan, knowing that it is a thought form, a cause, and it will lead you to success, beloveds, if you just use these 3 steps. To begin to talk, you will see what you believe, whether it's true or not. What we think we manifest in the world, and we see our truth, or what we believe to be our truth. This happens in 1,000 different ways every day. Seems the world is changing, when in reality it's your mind that changes and the world shifts accordingly. This idea, by the way, beloveds, is blasphemy to the ego, which needs you to be a victim of the world. And it's important to realize that illusions are so strong in their effect, as is truth. Why? Because you believe them, and what you believe has power. You're all being asked now to believe that you are holy and whole. That is the bigger thing right now. Know that you are holy and whole. And because this is the truth, it is the easiest thing in the universe to accept. God said, "Don't let your heart be untroubled, for I am the light, I am the truth, and I am the way." And because we are one with God, these statements are me and you together, when the Divine Father and Mother come together in oneness. So, beloveds, we are birthing a new world. It's time to settle in and be grounded and be prepared to take these steps that I've given you today. And know that it is all love, because you are love. So let's close our eyes for just a brief moment or two while we do a meditation. Take several deep breaths and pull up an emerald green light from the center of Mother Earth. Wrap it around you. Then send it out from your heart around the planet and back to enfold you in its healing energy. Bright emerald green light from the center of Mother Earth. So see yourself walking on a sunny beach. The air is sweet. Under your feet is the whitest and cleanest sand. Up above you are clouds that dance in a dark blue sky. The day is spectacular, the moment beautiful, and you are filled with joy. Know that the ocean, you're laying down by the ocean, completely relaxed, fully trusting in profound joy. And it's now turned into liquid light, so as the next wave of water flows over you, it engulfs you with its brilliant effervescence. So feel the light, beloveds. Feel the love in the water going over you. Feel the universe washing over you, pouring light through every cell of your body. Oh, here comes another one over to wash over you and through you. Feel yourself surrender to its love, to its power, to its joy. As it pulls away, you want it to pull all negative energies in your body away with it. Here comes another wave of light over your body, washing over and through you. Do you feel it? Allow it. The wave pulls away. So, what did it give you when it flowed over you? And what did it take back when it left you? So the closing is, what am I? I am God's son and daughter, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of his love. In me is his creation sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. In me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without opposite. I am the holy home of God itself. I am the heaven where his love resides, for in my purity abides the one. And that's all I want to connect to, is the one, heaven within, right now. Namaste, beloveds. Hope you're all doing well and healthy, and know that you are loved. Till next time.